head of Soltar Solutions, and I'm here on Focus Forward today with an absolutely incredible guest. For the past 25 years, she has been at the helm of the Jack Canfield companies. She's helped Jack build a multi-million-dollar enterprise and the Chicken Soup for the Soul brand that has taken him from an emerging self-esteem expert to becoming a world-renowned public figure and America's #1 success coach. As the chief negotiator, rainmaker, developer, manager, and champion of Jack Canfield's career and companies, she's also a New York Times best-selling author of more than 20 titles. She has lived the dreams of many a published author, media professional, executive mom, and world traveler. I am so pleased to welcome my mentor, my friend, and my idol, Patty Aubrey, to Focus Forward today. Patty, thank you so much for being here.
You're so welcome.
I am so happy to have you. So, Patty, I'm going to launch right into it. One of the things that I've heard is right from the very beginning of working with Jack, it's been champagne and roses, right from that very first day. Can you tell us about that?
Where'd you hear that?
Everybody says it.
No, that's not the way it went, really. I met Jack in 1989, and he was teaching self-esteem in the classroom. And he had just kind of this conceptualize of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And so we were not champagne and roses then, but we were dreaming about it.
You were dreaming big right from the very first day, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So, Patty, I've heard, and I'm not sure that this is true, I've heard that when you went for that job, which you answered an ad in the newspaper, you were not Jack's first choice. Is that right?
No, it's true. I actually went to answer an ad in the paper, and I had no idea who he was. He interviewed me, picked someone else. He said they were older, or they had more experience, and they were in the hotel business. And it was something I'd never done before, so I didn't get the job.
And what happened? How come you're there today?
Well, about 3 months later, he called me and said the girl didn't work out, and he thought that maybe we could work together. So I came in and negotiated his offer, which became higher. I took the job.
Excellent, excellent. So you negotiated right from the very first day?
Well, he was kind of an easy sell.
That's great. So now I know that I found this very interesting, that you've been talking about Mark Victor Hansen in those early days. And I heard you yourself say, and if you don't mind, I'm going to quote you, "If I hadn't been a naive 22-year-old, I would have thought he was crazy." End quote. Is that true?
Absolutely. I believed everything he said. And I think that's part of what's so important in this business. You know, when you really listen to your coach or your mentor and you do what they say, it does actually work. It's when your head gets in the way, it doesn't work.
So that's amazing. So when did you know it was going to work?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. It's our 20th anniversary this month. So I think I always knew it would work. I didn't have time to think that it wasn't going to work because we had put so much time and energy into it. And we were so broke, we had to make it work. So there was no option of failure.
So in the early days, you were broke? Tell us about the early days, Patty. Everybody talks about the now. Tell us about the early days. Give us a picture of what that looked like.
Rodney King riots and O.J. Simpson murders. No, seriously, the early days, I was driving a Dodge Colt an hour and a half each way to work. I was almost living in my car. I was negotiating our rent at the office. We didn't have money for the toner. It was tough. We had a hard time.
Wow, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So, so when did you realize that? How did you get from there and that point to where you are now? How did you, how did that happen?
Well, like Mark told me to do when I was 24, fake it till you make it, kid. So I started there. And then every day we just did 5 things a day that would get us towards our goal. And just kept going, focused on it, we set big goals, and we did everything we could to make it work.
So what are the five, what were some of those strangest things that Mark had you do? Can you remember?
Well, what he had me do was fake it till I make it. But what I did was I started to look around everywhere I went and figure out where can we sell this book. So I'd be getting my nails done and think, well, what if we had books in the shop? And I'd go, I'd send them out all over California then to the nail shops. I would look at, in a place that there wasn't a book, in a place that it would stick out. And I would send out newsletters. I would write articles for papers. I would put little ads in parenting magazines. As long as I did 5 things each day, then I felt like I had done enough where I could go to my day job.
So, what is your advice for entrepreneurs that are just starting out and really they kind of need help?
Well, for starters, I would say make sure you're doing exactly what you love, because if you're starting something new, it's going to be a long haul usually. Secondly, I would say surround yourself with amazing people that are supportive of you and that compliment you and have strength in areas that you don't. And I'd say thirdly, dream big. Go for exactly what you want and don't edit the how. Don't think about how am I going to get there or it's not possible. Go for some crazy, crazy goal.
Well, that's really great advice. And I think what holds a lot of entrepreneurs back is maybe they're staying in their circle, remaining in their circle of people that are not maybe thinking big. And a lot of times entrepreneurs, I think, do have an opportunity and are the type of people that think big, but I think the people around them may be pulling them back or acting as like ankle weights, keeping them down. So how do they find this awesome group of people that are supportive, that are other big thinkers, and that spur them on? Where do we find these people?
Well, I think you share your vision with as many people as you meet, and you see when people respond to you in the way that is positive. But I also think that as the entrepreneur, you really need to know how to enroll people to your dream. So you really have to articulate it properly. And that's a big part. Enrollment is a big part on whether or not you're enrolling people to work with you, if you're enrolling people to come to your workshops or enrolling people to want to read your book. You have to do a good job at believing that it's possible. And if you're convincing, you can get people on board and they'll believe it. That's your job.
So listening to that, I think that myself, I did not have that firm belief in myself. And I was so oblivious to, I was on the phone last night with Star Pillmore, and we were just talking about this because she's like, well, what's the difference? What has changed? And I said, the difference is I did not even think about having a television show when I have 25 years background in television. I mean, it was like, how can I not have seen that? And
well, it happens a lot. I think that people need to look at where they already have an audience and where they can actually leverage their new message. You don't need to go out and find a new audience. You just need to take your new message to the audience. And I also think it's really important to have someone that's behind you that I would say that has bigger pom-poms than you do. It's always there cheerleading you on. Because if you don't, you can talk yourself out of any great idea you have. And you want someone to believe in you more than you do on the days you don't believe in yourself.
well, that's what BTS has actually, and Maui also, to be honest, has done for me, is really given me that support system that no matter where I go, they're like, oh, that's great, go, go, go. And it's like really just, it's not only cheering me on, it feels like they're propelling me forward. You know, rather than look for those people, because I've been looking for those people my whole life, and I'll find one or two here or there, and I have a group of supportive people. What I like to do is go where they already are meeting and then
Right.
jump in and get involved in these people that already share that mindset. So that's why I think that attending these events, and I'm telling everybody all the time, oh, you know, go to BTS, go to these things, go, you know, get more education, get with a group of people that are awesome cheerleaders and people that are believing in themselves as well. So, I mean, I think that that's really the key.
It really is. I mean, it's a great way to go where you find a lot of people that are thinking in the same direction that you are, so you don't have to do it one-offs. But also, I mean, everyone that goes to BTS, and I've been doing this for 25 years, not one person has ever walked out of that room and not said, oh my gosh, this is the most important thing I've ever done. It's been totally life-changing. I mean, you know Jody's story. It's a lot like that.
It's absolutely amazing. But I'm curious because I just went last year. I've only been involved with the Canfield organization for just a little over a year, maybe a year and 2 months, which is very short period, you know, a short period of time considering. But I'm curious about those people that you first took through BTS years ago. What have you seen them do?
Well, let's see. Marcy Shimoff was the person who called us and said, hey, why don't we do Chickens with a Women's Soul, which was the first spin-off book that we ever did. She was one of our grads in 1991. Carol Klein was with her at the time. She's been the best editor I've ever met in my life. We've had people start companies. Pooja, who's a graduate of ours in India, with her, we were there 2 months ago. She had thousands of people in the audience. I mean, all kinds of things happen. It's really amazing. It's almost hard to explain in words.
It is
because you have to have the experience.
It's very hard to explain because most people do not have that in their normal realm of the possible. Like there I am at an event and I'm sitting next to a multi-billionaire. I mean, how many times in your life are you sitting there talking to somebody, getting advice from them about your business and just like sharing these exercises with somebody that's a multi-billionaire? I mean, you wouldn't normally come in contact. Or people that organize an entire TED Talk and people that do all these amazing things, people that bring famous speakers from all over the world into the Middle East. And now I just call these people up. I mean, how would I meet them?
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Yes, it's a secret to life.
It really is. I mean, it's really.
We would have met each other and we're great friends. I mean, we spent, what, 8 hours on the phone the other day doing a Skype call?
I know, it's amazing. And everybody just kind of bands together. And it feels like in the real world, sometimes we can feel jealousy for people that are successful or people feeling jealousy for us and whatever. This feels like it's a group that has come together to promote everyone equally. And we're not like competitive.
No, because it's not about fear. It's really about love and acceptance. And when people come from that space, they want the best for everyone.
I mean, I don't know how you find these people. How do you find these people? How do you find
us?
The what?
I think they find us.
They find you.
They do. I mean, they really seek us out. Obviously, we reach out to a lot of people. We've got 500 million books in print. So we have a wide net out there. But I think a lot of the people are looking for a place where they can come and have that positivity and grow. It's time.
Well, that's awesome. And you know what? Last night, I had Star help me to figure out, because I'm no mathematician, Patty, I'm going to be honest with you. I had Star help me figure out how many times those 500 million books would go around the world, okay, if they were end to end. And do you know it would be almost 3 times around the world, 71,000 miles, almost 3 times around the world. And that doesn't count his training programs, that doesn't count his Jack in the Box, that doesn't count the 30-day success principle, that doesn't count any of that, just his books. Amazing.
Well, it's true. And remember, when we started this, no one knew who Jack was, I was, Mark was, and we had a dream. Let's sell 5 million books in 18 months. And we sold close to a million. But at the time, I mean, to think that we would have 500 books to print, it's crazy. But that's the kind of stuff that happens when you go through BTS and you practice the principles. But you have to take the action to do it.
It's just beyond my realm of the possible that your books could go around the world almost 3 times at the fattest part at the equator. I mean, that just in my mind, that's just too bizarre. But when you look at it, the figures, it's true. And you know, everybody knows the chicken soup for the soul brand. How did you negotiate that? Tell me. Am I putting
The
you on
chicken
the
soup for the
spot?
soul brand, how?
Huh?
Well, it was a long time relationship over 18 years with our publisher. So there's a lot of negotiation going on. But we started in one place and we ended up in another. But it was really about the commitment to making it work.
You know what? That's really interesting because when I read George H. Ross's book, he's the chief negotiator. I'm sure you know who he is. Chief negotiator for Donald Trump, and that's what he said. You start out one place, you go to the other place, but it's about making it work. It's about creating a win-win because if anybody loses, it's not a good deal. So I know that that's your philosophy as well. So, Patty, I have to ask you, how do you and Jack come up with so many expansive ideas?
We spend a lot of time on airplanes together. You know, we just sit around and brainstorm about if life was perfect, what would it look like? And that's how we create what we want. We sort of make it up and then we create a strategy around it and we put it into action and it happens every single time.
Wow. That, you know, it's amazing because this is kind of like what this is for me. I've been thinking such a long time, oh, wouldn't it be awesome to have Patty on the show? Wouldn't it be awesome? And here you are. It was just, the way that it happened was just so unusual. You know, it was just like, it just dropped down from the sky. It was amazing. So it's just amazing that that happened. I can't even believe it. But anyway, all right, so tell me what's next for you.
What's next for me? Gosh, we're doing a luxury event in Dubai. We've got BTS coming up in August. Training trainers next week, which I'm really excited about. So we have a pretty busy summer with people coming from all around the world that will be training, and I'm excited about it. We're working on a few books, and but mostly my biggest focus is really bringing people to BTS.
Well, that's really, I think that that is, of all the things, it's really, I know I talked to a lot of people who went to Maui with me, and BTS really solidified everything that we learned. And I don't know, I think it had to do with being with so many people. I think the energy was just so big and so powerful. When you have 400 people in the room and everybody is thinking in this expansive way, it was just amazing. So I think that that could have been it.
Well, the other pieces too. I mean, I just spent 3 weeks in the Middle East and Dubai and India and Bali and all around the world. And every single person, especially the CEO of the company that brought us there, said, we have never seen a better speaker and trainer in our lives than Jack Canfield. He's transparent, he's authentic, he's an amazing teacher. He has a real simple strategy and success system that works. They're all, everywhere I go, I'm away.
Jack is amazing. And the interesting thing that I find is it seems like no matter where the audience kind of wants to go, Jack is always prepared and ready to help them get there, take them to the next level with stories, with learnings, it's just stuff that comes off the top of his head. I don't know anybody like that.
Well, it's 40 years of education and training and experience, which most people don't have. And when I talk about purpose and passion and do what you love to the entrepreneurs, he could not live without this. He has to do this. He's driven. He's been chosen. I mean, the guy is not human.
Well, I know he works like unbelievable. But I went up and I asked him when I think when I was at BTS, maybe it was at Advanced, but I said, Jack, what is it you really love to do? And he said, I love to do this. I love to help people to get to that next level, to learn, to change their life, to do all this stuff. He said, this is probably not the best use of my time financially, but this is where my heart is, because I look out and I see the ahas going on throughout the audience. And it's true. It's true.
It is true. Miracles happen in that room, and businesses have been built, dreams have been achieved. Some of the things that have happened because of ATS and because of his trainings, they're miracles.
Yeah, it's absolutely an amazing thing. So tell us a little bit about the retreat in Dubai. Do you have any of the information on it?
I do. It is in December. It's at jackcanfield.com if anybody wants to look at it. But it's going to be 4 days. It'll be somewhere out in the desert. It's going to be sort of in a safari type setting.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be amazing. Dubai, if you haven't been to Dubai, you have to go because it is fabulous. It's like a different world. But it'll be great. We'll be focusing on goals, on networking, on meeting people internationally. There'll be a lot of people there that are businessmen, women from Dubai and all over Europe and the Middle East. So I'm really excited about it. We're really taking this training international, and instead of them coming to us, we're going to them. And it's very interesting and exciting.
So how do you find, when you're going to these different locations that you haven't been before, how do you find your training changes?
It doesn't. It stays the same. I mean, what we teach is so universal and so foundational that it doesn't have to change. We're all people, and we're in a different setting, and we try to pick an amazing spot for each thing that we do. Because if we're going, part of what our dream was, if we're going to work, we want to do it in beautiful environments that we enjoy. And so we sort of made that and didn't set.
Well, getting back to the retreat idea, I've been to other retreats before I went to the retreat in Maui. And I can tell you, I remember those retreats because they were in a hotel room without any walls, okay? I mean, without any windows. And we had, papers on the walls, and we were filling out, the charts and all that. When I got to Maui, I couldn't believe it. I was listening. It was such an experience that was a whole body experience. Great people, beautiful setting. You could smell the ocean, and it was just such a complete experience, a soulful experience that you were able to take in the learning and really become, and I was not prepared at all for it. I'm going to be honest. I was just not prepared at all for that experience. And when I got there, I just felt like I had dropped into another world. I had never experienced anything like it. It was awesome. So I can't even imagine how fabulous it's going to be to do this desert experience. Unbelievable.
I hope so.
Oh, I'm sure it will. So we're almost out of time, which I'm really sorry to say. So just let's look for a second at, for an entrepreneur, what would be the benefit of an entrepreneur taking 5 days away from their business and going to something like BTS? What would be the 4 or 5 top benefits to doing that?
Well, most often what happens is people leave, they're more centered. They have a total clarity on what's next for them in their business. They have a strategic plan on how to get there. They have clearly defined goals. And they say that they are happy and they've been a long time. So those are sort of the things that show up. And I think everybody needs to take some time away and plan their business. It's like, when was the last time you got off the wheel and went to a same place and planned your life?
Well, you talk about fear. I think most business owners are afraid to do that. And they're so afraid to do that that they're working like a hamster wheel, in their business, and they don't get out for a minute to actually see what it is that they need to do. And then, you know, everything that I'm reading now, they're saying you're not really paid for what you're doing, you're paid for your downtime, because your downtime is where your ideas come and where the creativity comes.
It's absolutely true. And I think when someone gets afraid of something, it's kind of an awareness of, okay, I'm either afraid because I'm paying attention, or I'm afraid because I'm about to go into something amazing and huge, and I need to be centered and ready. And I think people don't act as if not ready for it when it happens. You have to plan your success and then ready for it.
So true. It's so true. I have a friend that talks about the landing pad for success. And I'm always looking around going, okay, do I have my landing pad for success ready? So there's a few things. There's a few things that need to be done. So
absolutely. Act as if. I mean, you have to take your business all the way to the end. If it was totally successful, what would it look like? Make that plan, have the accounting people in place, have the lawyers in place, have your team in place. You have to visualize it and embody it, and it shows up, but you have to be ready for it when it does show up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Patty, thank you so much for being here today. Is there anything else you want to say?
You're amazing. I love you. And everybody should have Lori come and hang out with them.
Thank you so much, Patty. You're really amazing. I love being with you, and I really can't thank you enough for being on this show, because I think most entrepreneurs don't really have an opportunity to have someone who's built such a powerful brand give them advice. So thank you so much for being on this show today.
You're welcome.
Thanks. So, Lori Flecker of Soltar Solutions here with another episode of Focus Forward. Was that amazing or what? Patty Aubrey is absolutely out of this world, and BTS is a must-do for every entrepreneur.